So this is all about gold and silver today, guys. I also want to talk to you about my trade with the Russell as well too. But with silver right now, we are getting that big flush down that I did talk about. I want to talk to you about the exact pattern here. And I also want to reference as why this is possibly a slingshot pattern, a false breakdown, and why I truly believe that this is going to go up to the upside. I'm going to show you the big picture. I'm also going to show you many examples of what happens and why this is possibly going to be a big slingshot pattern to the upside. I also want to talk to you about gold. Right, I want to talk about gold, the powerful pattern that's setting up right now with gold. But there's also another really, I'm looking at the big weekly charts as well too. There's something that's happening on the weekly charts right now that's forming that can be quite powerful as well. And we want to keep an eye for this. So if you're looking to get into gold, I want to talk to you about some really significant key areas of what we're looking at here and what's happening here. And then also I want to talk to you about some sort of emotional mindset and understandings of what does it really take to jump on and capitalize on really big profits in the markets. Don't place a trade based on what you'll see in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's actually we'll start off with silver and gold in this video for you today. Because I know the last few updates, what I've done for you is I've sort of kept them on the last bit on these updates that I've done here, but I know a lot of you guys are really interested in silver and gold across these markets. So I wanted to share with you what's going on right now. Now, there's been two things that I've always been focused on when it comes to gold and silver, okay? Firstly, when it comes to gold and silver, they're separate, okay? It's so important not to put a blatant statement across but these markets, okay? So like gold's doing this, so gold and silver are separate. They're making different patterns. So the thing for me when it comes down to the gold market, and then I'll get to the silver market, is what we want to do is we want to use really simple analysis across the screen. And by the way, guys, if you go to johnsfreegift.com, firstly, you get access to a presentation that I'm going to teach you my trading system. And then also my system will also email you access to, I've actually just set it up. So my email will give you access to my full complete trading course. There's about 8 videos in there teaching you about the trend analysis and the really important things to analyze the individual charts. Okay. So if you're trying to understand what silver's doing or gold's doing, that's going to really help you out from there. So just go to johnsfreegift.com, guys, and get the help you need for free. Get the help you need. So looking at the actual gold price here, Look what's happened with gold here, okay? So gold's doing what? Gold is in a very nice upward trend and we just came down to this level of support. So depending on what actually happens here with gold, and I've been getting a lot of flack with the gold and silver market, and some of you guys are just really angry. Like, it's like, don't be angry. Like, like for me, guys, when it comes to my trading opportunities, if you're looking for trading opportunities, you're waiting for these things to set up, right? So for me, I'm not in gold or silver from a trading perspective. Investing, I am long term, but trading, when I'm looking for opportunities to get in now and see the next move, right? I'm always waiting for these opportunities. So for me personally, I'm looking at gold right now has what? Come down to support here. So, and that's where we are right now. So we may be getting ready for a bit more sideways movement, right? I always look at my weekly charts, and I always say that, well, for my ideal situation is I'm always looking for a pullback to a strong this is a 24 moving average I use on a weekly chart. Why is that? Because when we have a strong trending market like we do right now, and by the way, if you're looking to see what's the overall trend of this market, use a 24 moving average on a weekly chart. And this is what I do. If I'm trying, because the thing for me is, as you know, like, I'm always looking to identify opportunities in the markets that's likely, one, give me a high probability of making a profit in the first place, but then give me a good chance of having a good profit in the markets, right? Not just these small profits, but big profits, right? That's why I'm going to talk about my Russell trade recently, a Russell trade that I'm in right now, about that, my trading. So if you want one simple tool that I'm always utilizing, guys, when looking at the markets, is just put on one simple moving average. We don't need 1,000 moving averages, and whatever the moving average is doing, okay? So if the moving average is overall flat, as you can see all through here, see how it was pretty much just flat. It wasn't really strong up or strong down. Well, that tells you that the overall trend and momentum of that market, whatever market you're looking at, is pretty flat, right? So therefore, there's no really big oomph behind. So if you're looking to capture a really big move for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, right, there's no real big oomph behind that. So but now look what's happening here, right? So we've got a very strong move to the upside. I always really like if we get another couple of, this is the big picture here on gold, if we get another couple of weeks of sideways movement from here, there, and we come back to there. If we do get that, okay? So if we do get that, that's going to be so powerful, because what the market does like to do is it goes up, it'll come back down, and then it'll bounce back up, and then it continues up from there. So that's the big picture here that I'm always looking for. So we may end up just be doing that. But if I go now to my daily charts, let's bring up to my daily charts now. My daily charts are doing what? Firstly, we are at this level of support. So let me actually I'll keep that there. Let's actually do this here. Actually, yeah. So we are at this level of support, and we do have this whole level of this sort of area here, right? This whole area here is a whole bunch of areas of support or resistance. Now, as you can see, we actually had a break up above this level through here, and it was actually a break above the highs, and now it's come back down. But look what's happening here right now. We went sideways, we came back up and rejected this level and come back down through here. What does that mean? Well, that means firstly that if gold is going to start to make its next move up, the market is telling us what? The market is telling us that it's respecting this area here and here. It's respecting it. So therefore, we're actually getting a strong seller, right? So if you're looking for a trading opportunity, guys, around the gold market, then we want to see what I'm doing here. I'm analyzing gold for what gold's doing here. I'm not trying to say the GDX is doing this or the dollar's doing this, right? A big mistake that a lot of people make is they're really trying to combine a lot of things. And my trading is really simple. I use some simple analysis around here, and then that's when I'm using simple analysis to gauge that, right? So I'm always utilizing that, and for you guys as well too. And what I want to encourage you guys to do is that it's so important that we don't use blatant statements. Like in the live room today with my coaching program, because I was with them when the market closed today after we actually did our trading today, which is just, we're having such an amazing year, guys. We really are. This entire year, me and my live room, we've had our periods of losing trades, and we've had some weeks of losing weeks, right? So it's not always been that, but it's been so amazing. Anyway, that live room is just amazing. It really is. Today, when the market closed after doing trading, we spent an hour and a half going across all markets, and this is what I do on a regular basis. It's only a small group. If you're interested in joining that group, then that first link in the description, or go to Get John's Help. You can apply, and then you may be a very good fit for that. But we actually spent an hour and a half in the room, and the purpose of me bringing this up here is that we started looking at the mining sector and the mining stocks in Australia, and then we started looking at the mining stocks in, say, America, and how, even though it's the mining stocks, they all looked completely different. The Australian mining sector, some of the big stocks like BHP and Rio Tinto and stuff like that, guess what? They're very strong to the upside, where the GDX and other ones like the American market hasn't been really strong. So the purpose of me saying that here is that if we're looking to take a trade on gold, let's just focus on what gold's doing, nothing else. Let's not make it complicated. Let's not add 1 + 1 = 2. Right? Which means, like, if this one market is doing this, if dollar's doing this, and then this other market is doing this, therefore I'm going to trade this, right? So do you see how complicated it is? To me, I'm just like, well, if the market's doing this, therefore I'm going to trade it. You see what I'm saying? Let's actually just bring it back to this. And what I mean by when I say this, to me, I'm just looking really for my trading setup there. But looking at gold, guys, if we're looking to get into gold, what we want to do is we just want to see what the market's doing and respect it. So for me personally, I've always been waiting to see. Let me zoom right in now. I've always been waiting to see, is this now a higher low on gold? Is it going to be a higher low on gold? If it is going to be a higher low on gold because we made this higher high, well, it's going to hold here, and then we're going to start to rally back up and break above this area through here. And if we can start to do that and get back above here, what does that mean now? Now the big picture means, right? The big picture, if that happens there, then we could end up starting to see another really big move to the upside. And maybe, just maybe, we're not going to get that pullback to the 24 on the weekly, but maybe, just maybe, we're going to do what? Maybe we're going to start to make our way back up to the top of the channel up here, right? So maybe that's what's happening here. Low. And then maybe we're about to see this thing start to get to the top of the channel up here, and then that could be a nice rise up to what is that? What is that through there? So I'm just looking at this overall pattern up, sideways. So we could be getting ready for a nice move up. With this if this takes its time, then I've always had a 3,000 target on gold. I'm not going to get into the reasons why I'm here because I spent a lot of time on that from that there, but just I've always said that. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is now I'm looking at the big picture, where this may go. Let's go zoom in now on the absolute small picture from here. Right, the absolute real small picture is this one here, which is the last, say, 3 months, 3 to 6 months. Let's go 6 months. Now we can see what's happening, right? Low, higher low, breaking up. We know the market's respecting this level here. So to give us some sort of probability, one, the trend is massive to the upside. But to give us some sort of real big, strong, like a real big probability that this is now getting ready for the next move up, because we never know, right? One of the big mistakes that a lot of traders make is that they're trying to enter in trades all through here. What is this? This is what's called a time phase. This is when the market's volatile, it's going sideways, there's no probability of it actually moving yet. So what we want to see is this thing, if this thing starts to break up above through here like this, now we're starting to trend, right? This one here is no trend. Low, double top, double bottom. Do you see how there's no trend here, right? Trend is higher lows. What's happening right now? Up. If this is a higher low, we're now starting to trend. And when the market starts to trend, the trend is your friend until the end, right? So if you're entering long positions through here, the overall big trend is in place, but the short-term trend hasn't kicked in place yet. So that's a bit of analysis there when it comes to the gold market. And then also, let's go look at the silver market. So the silver market for me, if you guys know, I've always talked about that gold is getting ready for a flush down, right? So, silver. Silver is getting ready for a big flush down. And I did say that, and that's exactly what we got. Now I want to see, or what I truly believe this is right now, is a silver crash followed by a slingshot pattern. Right? Because this is what the market does. The market does these patterns here. So what the market tends to do, especially when looking at these weekly charts, what the market tends to do, remember I mentioned at the start of the video about the 24 moving average, right? Look at the 24 moving average. It's still strong, trending up. What does that mean? It means the trend and momentum is still very strong to the upside. Therefore, it gives me a high probability that this flush down that I was expecting, because that's what the markets do, for it to be then what? I'm now expecting this thing to turn around and be a slingshot pattern. We're probably going to come up and do something like that, right? This is exactly what the Bitcoin market did as well too. If I bring up Bitcoin, this is the Bitcoin market here, right? Let me bring on the weekly charts. Let me bring on the weekly chart to the left, right? Let me bring on the 24 moving average. I'm going to show you the exact same pattern, right? So let me take off everything off the screen here. Let me show you the exact same pattern of what I'm talking about. So you look at this through here. What happened through here? So we had what? There's actually a lot of lines through here, isn't there? Look at this through here, right? We have this major low through here. Look what happened. The market what? The market flushed down. And now it's starting that, now it's starting what? Now it's starting the slingshot type of pattern, isn't it? So we're starting to see that real big slingshot type of pattern through here. Because the moving average was still trending up for here, it gave me a real high probability that this flush down here, which is this level through here, let me take this off the screen. There's actually too much on the screen right now. Let's see if I can I delete you? Yep, cool. Right, so we can see that this level through here, that's that flush down on the daily chart. So if I just focus on the daily chart, you can see the reason why this Bitcoin chart here, the reason why this flush down here was an actual slingshot pattern, because it dropped down and then created the slingshot move to the upside. What gave this a high probability of being a slingshot pattern in the first place? It's the weekly chart, right? The weekly chart. The weekly chart was what? Actually, the trend is very strong to the upside, but if we're trying to simplify it, what are we doing? If we want to simplify it, we're just looking at a very strong 24, because the moving average is very strong to the upside. That's what we're seeing through there. Now we go back to the exact same thing on silver. What's happening? Move to the upside. So you don't want to enter here right now, because it's not going to give you, there's no high probability of the pattern happening, right? We want to get some confirmation that that's happening. And for me personally, that we can see that this here, if this is going to be some sort of a move to the upside, we want to start to see it start to play out like that, right? And so there's a few things that I'd want to see. There's that trend line coming down through here. I'd want to see this thing start to create the slingshot move. So let's actually start to get back above through here. If we do something like this and then we start to break out like that through there, well, then we know what? That was a significant low and a slingshot pattern. And therefore, if we get something like this, this would be a much better time to look for long signals in silver as a trade, right? Because remember, a trade is you're looking for a couple of weeks to a couple of months. That's a much better high probability signal there than trying to take it here, because we're getting that. So that's what I wanted to share with you there, guys. And remember, one of the biggest things about trading, and you know, especially my Russell trade that I'm still in right now, is one of the hardest things about trading, I find, is the emotional control part, right? It's just being emotionally controlled. And that's where, like with my Russell trade, I'm still in the Russell trade right now. And I was talking with my trading room today, and it's one of the best things I do with my live room, right? I'm giving them technical and logical reasons why to stay emotionally calm while the market's doing what it's doing, so you can capitalize on big moves, right? So for me personally, the way that I like to do things is I don't want to take a lot of small trades. I don't want a small profit. Now, you know, sometimes the trades work out to be a small profit because I have to get out of it. Maybe it's just not working and I need to get out for a small profit, and that's the way it is. But my ideal situation is I want to get into a trade and hold it for a couple of months and capitalize on a very big move. I'd rather one really good trade like the Russell, or like say gold. Gold made me almost 400% return on my options. So I'd rather just one trade like that can really explode my trading account results than trying to take all these small trades for 20%, 50%, you know, like all those type of trades. And that's the way that I like to do things. So when I'm identifying these opportunities, like I am on the Russell, and I am in the Russell still, it's important that you try to have some emotional control. If you want to become a good trader, that emotional control part is so important, right? And again, that's where, for me as a coach, guys, when I'm coaching my clients, and as I was doing today, I was walking them through how do we stay emotionally calm, because that's always the hardest thing, especially on days like this here. Especially when Russell started doing this here, right? Especially when the Russell started dropping down through here. How did I stay emotionally calm, and what was I using, and so on and so forth? And that was the big thing for me, and still holding on to the Russell and just understanding that this is when you can really, really, really take your trading to another level, right? And this is what I'm doing with all my traders. It's not just trade selection, but when you're in a trade, how do you stay emotionally calm while the market's doing what it's doing so you can capitalize on a really big move?